What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Cookie's Garage. Before we get into this video, I do want to apologize. I have been fighting a cold for the past week. So if you hear me sniffling or anything like that, I do apologize. Today's video is on the first generation Acura TSX. Before we even get into that, I do have my notes right here. So if I look up, pause, or look down, pause, and look back up, that's why. I love these cars, but I can't remember every little thing about these cars. So, without further ado, let's get started. First generation TSX came from 04 to 08, 06 to 08 being the facelift and some added features. But the 04 to 05 is like mine. You can't see it, but I have an 05. Really just standard 2005 Acura vehicle. That was during a time when they were just using spare Honda parts. So yeah, most of the stuff you can find in this TSX, you can find in higher trim level Accords. So keep that in mind when you want to swap parts. The 06 to 08, on the other hand, that's when they started doing their own little thing. They got new wheels, which you can still find on some Accords from that generation or that era. But for Acura, that was a new thing. There's a lip kit that came pre-installed. Had a newer gauge cluster. With this gauge cluster, you could see your miles per gallon you were getting. You could see your oil life. You could see some other information that you might want to know. On mine, on the 04 to 05, you can only see trip A, trip B, mileage, stuff like that. On the 07 to 08, though, it did have a TPMS sensor, so you could see your tire pressure on all four tires that the 06 did not have. So I'm sure many people know this, but the TSX is the TSX in the United States, and in Japan and Europe and all those other countries, it is the Honda Accord. That's why when you see That's why when you see people putting Accord parts on the TSX, that's why they look so good. That's why this grille can fit the TSX, because it is a Honda Accord. So, now that's out of the way, let's talk about the motor. So the motor in the 06 to 08 TSX is the K24A2, which is one of the most desirable K24s ever made. Good power for both years, really. 04 to 05 had 200 horsepower, and the 06 to 08 had a small bump with 205 horsepower. Nothing crazy by any means, but for a four-cylinder that's on the Accord platform, that is fairly good. Yeah, that's really good. Pair it with the like a turbo or a supercharger, you're pushing 350, 400 horsepower easily. Next is going on the transmissions. So standard was a 5-speed automatic transmission. They're slow. They're slower than manual ones. That's just how they are. You could get a 6-speed manual in all the years in the first generation, but a lot of them are rare. When I bought that TSX, there was none on the market. Absolutely none in the market. So I had to settle for a 5-speed automatic. Let's see, we got mod support. There's a lot of good mod support for these vehicles. Anything from Honda parts to superchargers, the turbochargers, to you can put different throttle bodies on it. Like I know people put RSX Type S throttle bodies onto the K24, or they put, put the K24 oil pump on, but it already has a K20, whatever. Don't worry about that. But yeah, there's a lot of good modifications for it. Like I said, turbo superchargers, short throw shifters, exterior mods such as OEM Plus, like buying the Honda parts. Yeah, great stuff. So next I want to talk about the Euro R, specifically the conversion, because this is for the Acura TSX. So with the Euro R, it's basically an Accord, or it is an Accord. So you can take these Honda parts, like the grill I just showed, you can throw them onto a TSX with little to no modification. Well, that's true for the 06 to 08. 04 to 05 kind of doesn't really work like that. For instance, I have to buy a JDM 04 to 05 bumper to fit that grill. Well, yeah, that kind of sucks. But if you have an 05 or 06 to 08, that bumper can go directly onto the the USDM bumper. The only thing you would have to modify is the radiator cover, or the plastic piece that goes above the radiator, because as you can see on this grill, use this for example again, this Honda logo is bigger than the Acura logo, so you have to modify all around, like the top area. Headlights. Sorry about that. Headlights, you can bolt up the Euro R headlights and outer tail lights directly to your USDM body. That's what I have on my car. I have Euro R outer tails and Euro R front headlights. OEM, they look good. They look really good, actually. A lot of the other things can include like the lip, the rear wing, the rear lip, interior mods such as the Recaro Euro R seats, steering wheel, gauge cluster. Everything can bolt up to these cars because they are on the same chassis. So that's why it's one of my favorite things about the TSX. It's different. You don't see a lot of, number one, you don't see a lot of them. Number two, doing the Euro R conversion just makes it 10 times cooler in my opinion. So let's go over some common issues. So these are just some issues that I've compiled together that I've seen and have experienced. So the power steering O-rings. These are for the power steering pump on both lines. Both of those went bad, so you'd have to replace them a lot. Another thing, I think there was a recall for it. It was either that or a power steering line. I forget what the recall was for. But yeah, that's one of the things. The VTC strainer on any K24, the VTC strainer is horrendous. I replaced mine twice last year because oil was leaking from it. It just sucks. You have to do it. The AC compressor, those have been known to stop working for no reason. So keep that in mind. This is specific for the 06 to 08, but it is the Bluetooth battery drain. So what it is that there's a module. It's in the passenger front door. All you have to do is unplug it, and it'll stop your battery drain. It's weird. I'm not exactly sure why it causes that, but it happens. So lastly, let's go on to price. So this is one of the worst cars to find good pricing on. They can be found anywhere from $3K to $15K. Obviously, you're spending $3K, you buy a $3,000 car. You're spending $15,000, you're getting a $15,000 car. They're so sporadic on pricing because you can find a great one for sale for $3K. And then you can find an absolute beat to shit one for $7K. It's just, they're weird. So what I would do if you were interested, what you should do is just narrow it down to what you want. For instance, my next TSX is going to be silver, like mine out there, black interior, 06 to 08, and a 6-speed manual. Narrow it down. Find stuff that fit your budget. You know? Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was not the last thing. So we're gonna go over my experience. So the first week I bought this car, I had to buy over $1,000 worth of things because the dealership was not very truthful. We're not gonna bring up the dealership. It's whatever. Don't care. I had to buy two headlight bulbs, which they're HIDs, so they're $100 a piece. So that was $200. 2 ballasts and 2 igniters. I had to redo the entire headlight. It was like $1,000. Fucking sucked. They also didn't tell me that whoever brought the car in took everything out for sound, like for speakers and shit. So I had to go out and buy a $500 amp just to get that all wired in. That sucked. And like even today, I'm still having issues with headlights. I don't know if anyone has seen one of my last videos on my igniter. I'm still having issues with it. Don't know what it is. It's spotty when it wants to work, but whatever. They work for now. VTC strainer. We went over that. It was in one of my videos. I replaced it twice last year. It is what it is. Basic maintenance. It's not bad. Oil change. Speaking of, I need to get one soon. But yeah, they're great. Change every 3K miles. 3 to 5K. Haven't had to replace tires yet. Yeah, basic maintenance is fine. One of the things I do want to do is full transmission service. So I think that'll be one of my next videos. Yeah, overall, I say yes. Get the Acura TSX. It is a good car. They make good power. They're fun to drive. A manual one, it's 10 times better. The motor, great. Get it with a 6-speed, amazing. Turn it into a Euro-R, fucking amazing. Yes, you should get one of these cars. So, I hope that was slightly informative. I didn't really rehearse this video. I kind of just went straight into it. I know there's some things on them that I'm missing, but these are the main talking points of having a TSX. So yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, comment if you learned anything, comment if I missed anything. For the future though, I do have some cool stuff rolling in. One of my buddies yesterday gave me a couple carbs, so I might do a video on tearing these down and rebuilding them, just because I don't really know how carbs work, and I want to learn. This L15 turbo down here, I plan on doing a rebuild on that. Oh, probably the biggest thing, I have a K24 at my house right now. I'm going to bring that here hopefully soon, so we can get that all ready for the next series that I plan on doing. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. Oh, I do have some stock TSX fuel injectors I'm going to buy a rebuild kit for and do a video on. Yeah, Civic is good. You can see it right here. It still runs and drives. I need to get it registered, but that's about it. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one. Take care.